start us off down on the floor and then going to work our way up. We're going to work our whole body today. So just come to lying down, grounding down through your shoulders, grounding down through your hips, and bring your feet as wide as your mat, but have your knees bent. I'm just dealing with my trousers. Just allow your knees to drop in to the center, and then place your hands on the floor and just move your knees from one side to the other. So like you've got some windshield wipers just going side to side. Just warming up those hips, moving the femur, that's the thigh bone in the hip socket. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. And then starting to sync the movement with the breath. So inhaling and bringing those knees up, exhaling, dropping them over to the side. You can also look over in the other direction. Inhaling, bringing the knees to center, and exhaling them over to the side. That's it. One more time, just like that. So nice and slow to center, nice and slow over to one side. Nice and slow to center, nice and slow over to the other side. Good. Just slowing everything down, just grounding yourself. And inhale, bring your knees to center and hug them into your chest. So you can either wrap your arms around the fronts of your shins or just hold onto your knees and just have a little roll around on that lower back. Then hug your knees into your chest and round through your back. Your head can come up off the floor here. Excuse me. Again, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Let your feet come down to the floor and let's have our knees hip width apart. Excuse me. Tuck your chin, but have your head on the floor, and we're just going to do a glute bridge. So it's almost like a reverse cat-cow. That's it. Just keep your hips up, pushing down into the floor with those feet. And then slowly settle your hips back down again. Lift your left leg up and push the heel towards the ceiling. Hold on to the back of the thigh, and we're just going to rotate through that ankle in one direction. And then swap direction. Oh, so clicky. Nice. And then you can straighten that leg, point and flex the toe, or point and flex the foot, or maybe if it feels good, continue with the rotation. A nice stretch in the lower back here as well. Just take a hold of the back of the calf. Your head might have to come up off the floor. Good. And then allow the weight of your upper body to just pull yourself down and feel the stretch all the way down the back of the leg. Good. And then place that left foot, sorry, frog in my throat. Left foot down on the floor, right leg lifts, and lower your head down. So we're not going for a super straight leg immediately, but we're just pushing into the heel and then holding onto the back of the thigh and rotating that foot in one direction. Rotating in the other direction, making sure you're breathing. Shoulders are grounded, hips are grounded. Hamstring is getting a gentle stretch. And then point and flex the foot. And maybe the next time you flex, you want to try straightening that leg, adding to that stretch. It can be very stiff in the hamstrings first thing in the morning, especially when it's cold. Then coming up, taking hold of the back of the calf, maybe using the weight, Try not to have fully extended arms. Try to actually be in control of your upper body. So that takes a little bit of core strength here as well. And holding on to the calf, pulling yourself up at the same time. Good, let it go. Bring the feet down to the floor. Tuck your chin. Keep your head on the floor. And let's do another glute bridge. So just send your hips up to the sky and just hold them there. And hug your knees into your chest one more time with a little roll around on that lower back. Now, before we come up, I want you to take a hold of the back of your thighs because we're going to come up into a bridge pose just for a moment. So come up and lift your chest. Hold on to the back of your thighs. Lift, lift, lift your chest. That's it. Nice. And then place your feet down on the floor. Good. And come on up onto the other side. So we're going to kneel up and we're going to tuck our toes under. So this is just to give us a bit of a stretch across our feet. So tucking those toes under. So tuck the toes. So have a look. Can you see my feet? If you just tuck your toes under, so pushing into the bottoms of the toes. That's it. Just to give those feet a stretch. And then sink your hips back if you can, if it feels good. Onto those. If the knees won't do it, then here is fine. Don't force it. Good. Okay, then come up to all fours. Untucking the toes now, so pushing into the tops of your feet. That's it. Now we're in a lovely position for our cat-cows. So we're just going to move our hips backwards and forwards to start off with. So bringing the weight onto our wrists and then taking the weight off of the wrists. And at the same time, the hips are getting a little bit of movement. And really push down into the tops of your feet. So now the feet are being stretched in the other direction. And then as you come forwards, I want you to really round through your back into a cat. Stop there. And then come into a cow and bring your hips back. So belly down, head up. And then belly up, head down and come forwards. Good. And then come to stillness. So have your shoulders over your wrists, your knees under your hips. Just some simple cat-cow. So inhaling, lifting your chin, lowering your belly. Exhaling and rounding. Really breathing in here, so really filling your lungs full of air. Feeling that chest expand. And then pushing the air out as you come into that cow. Walk your hands back towards your knees. You're just going to come up to kneeling up. And I'm just going to take a layer off because I don't know whether I've got hot or if I'm having a hot flash or if it's summer. And deal with the microphones. Nice, let's tuck those toes under again and sink our hips back and just push down. How does that feel? Does that feel okay?
Yes.
Okay, keep those toes tucked under. Going to bring your hands forwards, shoulders over those wrists. Now we're going to do a little hovering table here, Pat. So hovering table, I'll show you. The knees come up off the floor. That's it. Can you feel that in your core?
Oh, yes.
Well done. So keep those knees up, push into the heels and come into a down dog. So exhale here. That's it. Now this is a resting pose. Inhale and come forwards, come into that hovering table again. Bring the knees a little lower A little lower, that's it. And exhale back into down dog. Well done. Now we're going to spend just a little bit of time in this down dog. So paddle out through those feet. Wrists are happy because the fingers are spread and we've warmed them up. We've also warmed those ankles up and the backs of the legs. So pushing one heel down and then the other one. Shoulders now getting a little bit of love as well. Inhale, come forwards and just lower down to your knees gently. And exhale, sink down into child's pose. Or puppy pose, or whatever variation works with your body. Pat, you could make yourself just a little bit more comfortable here just by bringing your hands underneath your forehead, because I see you're straining to get your head down to the floor. That's it, because now you can just relax into it. This is a pose of surrender. It's a pose of, just letting go. And once you're able to let go, then your nervous system is able to relax. Good. Okay, coming up again to that all fours position. And now we're going to do a lovely funky cat-cow. So rotate through your hips, make circles with your hips. Make sure your fingers are spread. You're pushing all the way down into the heels of your hands. That's it. And then swap direction. So the hips are going in the other direction. Nice and slowly, nice and smoothly as well. Check in, make sure you're moving smoothly. Good. And then walk those hands ever so slightly forwards, tuck those toes under and come up into a down dog again. So push those heels down, push your head between your elbows and let your head go, even if you just want to shake it out a bit. Let's do a three-legged dog. So lift your right foot up, keep your hips even, push that left heel down, and then swap legs. So right foot comes down, push the right heel down, and then left the left leg up. Keep pushing that right heel down. Nice. Okay, we're going to walk those feet up into a forward fold. And just stay in that forward fold. So walk or hop or jump. Have your feet underneath you, the knees above them, and place the forearms on the thighs here. So we're just supporting ourselves. But let your head go and just shake that head out. Then bring your hands onto your shins. That's the front of the lower leg. And inhale into a halfway lift. Here we have a lovely long straight back, and you want to feel that extension coming all the way out of that back. And we're looking down at the floor, pulling our shoulders away from our ears. Good. Take a gentle bend in your knees and come into a fold. This time you can bring your hands all the way down to the floor if that feels good. Breathing here, so inhaling and exhaling. And take a generous bend in your knees, and you're going to come up to extended mountain. So come up to standing, stack the knees on top of the ankles, the hips on top of the knees. Reach out of your shoulders, bring your hands up above your head. You can turn to face me. Reaching up high, clasp those hands and reach really high. Nice. And remember, shoulders away from ears. Lovely. So now we're going to, from here, go into a side bend. So inhale and exhale into a bend. Inhale to center. Exhale to the other side. Oh, that feels so good. I think we've got to do one more on each side. Inhale to center. This time, if you want to, you can split your hands apart. So one hand comes down, the other one goes over. Keep your neck in line with your spine. Keep your jaw relaxed. So don't overextend through the neck. This is about the side body. Both feet are still firmly planted. And then we're like a windmill. As we inhale, we come up. And as we exhale, we reach over. Nice one. Big inhale here, big exhale, relaxing through that head. Good. And then circle those arms behind you, clasp them and just pull down, just gently here, pull down. Nice. So far we've built all of our poses from the ground up. We've done a lot in the hips, we've done a lot in the ankles and the knees. We need to give those shoulders a bit of love. So unclasp those hands and just move the head from side to side. So feel a stretch down the side of the neck. I think you've frozen, Pat. I'm not quite sure. Oh, there we go. You've unfrozen now. So we're just bringing our head up to center and going from side to side. So stretching those muscles, really big, strong muscles that connect the head and the shoulders, so the neck. Good. And then look over your shoulder. So look over to one side, keep the chin parallel. Come back to center and over to the other side. Now these are the muscles that wrap around the neck and that are responsible for us being able to look over our shoulders. Good. And now we're going to do circles with our head. So imagine your nose is pointing towards a plate and we're drawing a very small spiral in that plate. And that spiral is starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger until we're exploring the full range of motion in the neck there. Big circle, maybe looking all the way up at the ceiling and then all the way down at the floor. And then stop. We're going to go in the other direction, starting with the big circles and eventually coming into the middle. So slowly, ever so slowly, getting smaller and smaller. Ah, nice. And now we're just going to move our shoulders forwards and backwards. So forwards, backwards, forwards, really round through the back, and then backwards, really open through the chest. Forwards, we can bring our hands down onto our thighs and push away. And then backwards, bring those hands behind you. Nice. Inhale, bring those hands all the way up. And you're just going to pull those elbows down towards the ribs as you exhale. Good. And then again, hands up. Reach up. Exhale. Feel your feet against that ground. Nice. Elbows down towards the ribs. One more time. So reach up high as you can. And pull down. Nice. And now bring your arms all the way out. We're going to start to do twists. I'm going to turn on the diagonal so you can see. Just moving those shoulders from side to side, keeping the feet planted. Good. And then come back to center. Take your right hand and just sweep it across and find its place. Left hand sweeps across and comes all the way back up again. Nice. Sweeping and reaching and sweeping and reaching. One more time on each side. Good. Lovely. So this is really good. Stop there. Really good for the diagonals, those obliques. Open out through the chest, bring those arms behind you. And then round through the back and clasp your hands. So stretching through the back of the body. Nice. Okay, let it go. We're going to do some work in a forward fold now. So let's come into an extended mountain. Inhale, bring your hands up. And then exhale and fold. So come into a lovely big forward fold. Now take a gentle bend in your knees. I'm going to get you to wrap your 2 fingers around your big toe. Take as much of a bend as you need so that you can reach your big toe. 2 first fingers, index finger and the big one, wrapping around the toe. That's it. Then you're going to pull your elbows backwards towards your legs. You're going to push your toes down into your fingers and you're going to pull with those hands. So it's almost as if you're trying to pull those toes up, but of course you've got the weight of your body on those fingers and those fingers are not going to win. They're igniting the upper body. Good. Inhale here as you exhale, bring those hands out and then just let your head go. Walk your hands to the outside of your left foot and look down towards your left knee. Nice stretch in the lower back. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring your hands to the outside of the right foot, looking towards the right knee. And then just bring your forearms onto your thighs. From here, we're going to come into a squat. So send your hips back and bring your head up. That's it. Exhale into a fold again. This time you can take straight legs if you want, if it feels good. And then forearms to thighs. And inhale, hips down, head up. Nice squat here. Lovely. Bring those hands to the thighs, push away and come just standing up again. Oh, nice. Let's go into a nice wide-legged stance. So both sets of toes facing out. Bring those hands onto your hips and just wiggle them from side to side. Excuse me. Did you have an oopsie there? Nice. Okay. Big arm. Reach up and over. Come into a nice side bend. Sweep that arm around. Now we're starting to put everything together. And then come into a side bend on the other side. Sweep that arm around. And come up. Sweep the other arm around. Oh, nice. And then just sweep one arm and then the other one. Reaching. Good. Careful. What's going on? Are you having earthquakes? Okay. Coming back to center, and again, just having a little wiggle in those hips. Let's ground ourselves, shall we? Being grounded helps with our balance. So bring those feet in a little bit. Take a generous bend in those knees. And then inhale and exhale into goddess pose. So a nice strong goddess here, pushing down into the floor. Good. And then come up. Bring your hands down. We're going to do a little bit of balance. Good idea, right? Really ground down through the leg that you're standing on, my left leg, and lift that right leg up. So the toe can just touch the floor if you want to. Make a long straight line between your hands so that your whole body is alive and awake and not just flopping down. And then you can reach up. Oh, look, I'm cheating. I've got my finger on the mirror. And let's land. Swap over to the other side. Take it slow. Build it from the ground up. Let your foot that you're standing on really feel the floor. Take a gentle bend in the knee, open out through those arms, and then that toe can just touch and come up. Thank you to my consultant for my new hip, which is clearly very strong because I can balance on it. I couldn't balance on it before. Good. That's okay. Some days are better than others. I think I'm having a particularly good day today. Right, we're going to do some diagonals. So go wide again. We're not done. Nice and wide, bit of trouser management. So inhale up. Right hand comes to left leg. Left foot. Left hand is up. Look towards that left knee. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, left hand to right foot. Right hand out behind you. Look towards that right knee. And then inhale, back to center. Big hands up. Exhale, sink down into goddess pose again. Nice and strong. Now, the width of the legs is a completely personal thing. I'm going to try going a little narrower. And then stand up, reach those hands up. I'm going to be mean to you now. Bring the feet together, the knees together, and sink down into chair pose. Keep the hands up. It's the hips. You've got to use those hips. That's it. Sink down. And really squeeze those ankles together. If you're feeling strong, you can lift the feet up. Sorry, lift the heels up. You can't lift the whole of the foot. So squeeze the ankles together. That'll give you, and the knees, that'll give you a nice solid foundation. Good. Look out to the horizon. That's it. Yes. And then stand up. Circle those arms behind you. What a relief to stand up, right? Circle those arms and clasp them behind you. That's it. And then you're going to bring your hands onto your lower back for some back bends. So feet can either be together or hip width apart. Squeeze your elbows together. Big inhale, and as you exhale, look up at the ceiling. Keep your hips over your knees. Lovely back bend. Oh, that feels really nice. Really nice stretch across the belly here as well. Good. Unclasp those hands. Shake everything out. We're just going to stir some energy up here. So feet hip width apart. Inhale, come up. And exhale, all the air comes out. Inhale, come up. If you want to go into a little back bend here, you can. Exhale. Inhale up. Really reaching into those fingertips. Exhale. Relax everything. And then just stay here in a forward fold. Feeling all energized and ready for your day. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. Let's come into one more halfway lift. So hands onto shins, long, straight back. Feel the stretch in the lower back. Shoulders away from ears. And exhale into a fold again. And then hands to thighs. Come on up to standing. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. And come into extended mountain with a big inhale. Extended mountain. Have your palms together. Really spread those fingers and then push those hands together down into heart center. And we're done. So namaste. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining me. And I'll see